There we go. We are live. Yay. Okay. So, I have to share. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. I have to share that Ayana is still sleeping. The plan was that I was going to take her to my mother-in-law's, but she slept so good and I didn't want to wake her up. And I'm like, okay, so I'm hoping that she sleeps through, but just in case there might be some interruption because of my little peanut. Okay, so say hello when you hop on and we're gonna get rocking and rolling. I'm really excited about this, you guys. Oh my God. Let me just tell you. So this is what I did. So one of the reasons why I moved the presentation to today was I remembered last time that Saturday worked better for people. And then I was like, duh, my mentor is Jade Tita and love him to death, learn everything from him. And I actually was a part of his course, a course that he was teaching in California, and I was able to tune in virtually. And so I was able to learn even more goodness. So then I was able to toss that into this presentation today. So I'm super excited. Okay, so good morning. Good morning, good morning. Okay, let's get going. I'm so excited. Okay, so let me share my screen. We're gonna rock and roll. Okay, let's see, where am I here? Okay, here we go. Okay, so want to make sure that you guys can see my screen and all that. Yep, looks like you can. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good morning, Alicia. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Carla. We're twinsies. Okay, here we go. Day 5, balance your hormones for fat loss challenge. We're going to talk about estrogen, progesterone, and stress, and some other goodness as well. But that is going to be my main focus. So we're going to dive deep into those 3. You think you know, but you have no idea, my friend. Trust me. Okay, so I want you to audit yourself. And then I want you to tell me in the comments between a 1 and a 3, how do you truly feel about where you are overall in your life? And I'm not talking like, okay, I'm just focused on weight loss. I'm talking overall in your life. 1 being like your bottom rung, 10, you just like feel the best you've ever felt in your life. Okay, so give me that number here. Good morning, David. So give me a number between 1 and 10. Where do you feel where you are? Okay, and then just place it in the comments. So here's the thing. Why are so many women struggling to lose fat? Guess what? Because they're focusing on the wrong things. Now, if you've been following me with the last, even the last couple of years, but within this last 5 days, I think you've had some aha moments like, oh, I didn't realize that, or I never thought about that, or I had no idea. Okay. So people focus on the wrong things when it comes to losing body fat. So let's think about this. Remember Kelly from 2016 and Kelly from 2019. So remember when Kelly 2016 just focused on, weight loss and how, just how I wasn't achieving anything and how I just felt stuck. You just kind of live in that hamster wheel. But then there's Kelly 2019, and it's like you let go of that stuff. You focus on the right things when it comes to weight loss. You focus on the right things. You make this shift, and the hamster wheel goes away. You're now in this road, like this pathway. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So it's the things that we focus on. So the secret to fat loss success, my friends, is hormonal balance. It's what I do. It's what I help my clients do. Okay, it's what I help educate on. And I'm so grateful and thankful for falling upon my mentor, Jade Tita. Now that said, that Kelly in 2016 was sitting on the couch one day going, I need something. Like I literally remember sitting on my couch saying, something has to change. I just need something. Please, universe, show me. And wouldn't you believe, not much time went by and that his course came across. And I was like, do I invest in it? Do I not? I don't know, you know. And then I had a conversation with my lifestyle intuitive, Christy Reardon. She's amazing. And she said, I'm giving you a big, huge, fat yes on that. And then I took the leap of faith and educated myself on that. Hence, my program was born. So here's the thing, you guys. I don't want to get too woo-woo on you, but if you desire the change, you also have to pull in some help. And don't be afraid to put out in the universe and call it out and call it yours. You know, like, this change is needed. This change is coming, you know? Okay, so here's the truth. We talked about this before. Calories matter, however, hormones are equally as important. Calories impact hormones, hormones impact calories. Okay, remember how we talked about, and I have these two pictures here because the way that hormones act around certain hormones, like for example, estrogen and progesterone act differently together than estrogen and cortisol act together. And just like progesterone and cortisol, they act differently together. Okay, so they all act different around whatever environment they're around. Okay, you got the black tie party versus the toga party. We dress differently, we act differently, we do differently. You know, we just do different things at each event, right? Okay, now your metabolism, my friend, is basically a stress barometer. One of the biggest things that I help to reboot metabolisms is through helping them to manage their stress, recognizing what stress is. Now, stress is such an overused word. So many people look at things differently, like they don't see things as stress, or they look at something and they don't realize how it's creating stress. So think of it like this. So there's, in your body, there's like a constant lab work going on in the body, but you're just not getting the printout. So you have to become that detective of your own body and become basically you are in charge of that barometer. Okay. And it's how you live your lifestyle is going to depend on how healthy your metabolism is. Listen, you don't want a fast metabolism. What you want is a flexible metabolism. You want your metabolism to be able to be flexible with what you have going on in your lifestyle, how you are operating in your lifestyle each day. Okay? Now, I'm sure all of us moms can recognize this, even some dads, right? You know, we're carrying all the hats, we got all this shit going on. You know, we feel the metabolic tension, whether you recognize it or not. So for example, like I recommend a specific supplement to my clients. It's not something that's beach body oriented or anything like that, but it's something that I know that will help to protect them from all of the stressors that they have going around. It's interesting what it does. It helps them to respond and react differently because we are protecting. It's like we're putting a firewall in front of their hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenals. And we're going to get into that, which is the brain impact I'm going into right now. So your hypothalamus is the center of your metabolism. It's basically like an antenna that picks up signals from the outside world. And it's like a transmitter. So think of it like it's your body's Wi-Fi. If you get too much on the Wi-Fi, right? So if you're like, okay, if I go to this certain nail salon and it drives me nuts, I feel like they need to upgrade their Wi-Fi because I can't operate on my phone as efficiently, you know? And so the same thing with our body. If we have too much overload, we are going to respond differently. Our body's going to react differently. It's going to get overloaded. It's going to get irritated. Is this making sense? So give me a yes if it's making sense and give me a no if you're completely confused, okay? So your hypothalamus is basically the control center It's in your brain, and this is the control center. It's like around the brain stem. Okay, so I'm just going to read this at the top. The hypothalamus is an area of the brain just above the stem that gathers information from your senses, receives the hormonal inputs from the body, and then it sends information to all of these organs: your thyroid, your adrenals, your gut health, your ovaries, your testes. Okay, very good. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals, I call it the HP axis, sometimes the HPA axis, okay? So how do we read our metabolism? I've talked about this a lot. Through your HEC, your hunger, your energy, and cravings. If you're hungry, your HEC is out of check. Something is not balanced within your hormones. Your energy is down. Your HEC is out of check. Once again, same thing, cravings, okay? You always want to make sure that these three are all in check at the same time. Too much of something, too little of something, your body is always, even subconsciously, aware of the biofeedback. Like I said, this is like your skin suit. This body that has been created and designed is, like I said, like there's a lab going on, and there's constant feedback and communication going on all the time. And the hormones are basically responsible for that. So other indicators also of your metabolism is your libido and your digestion. If you have a low libido, that is a huge indicator that your metabolism is messed up. If your digestion is messed up, having bloating and gas and all those things, that's not normal. People just are accepting of, yeah, I got IBS. Okay, that, you know what IBS comes from? Stress. Don't be accepting of it. Figure the fuck what is going on and get it healed so you can feel better. Bloating, distended, all of that stuff, constipation. That is a sign that your metabolism is wah-wah, okay? So one thing you should know about this too, your metabolism does not give a damn about your vanity concerns. It is all about what your physiology is seeing inside. So you may have this expectation of, I want these lean legs and this lifted butt and this curvy body or this really skinny waist or whatever. You know, you do have some control, but let me just tell you this to put you at ease. There are some things that we just cannot change. It's because our physiology, it's just the way that it is made up, and our body it's just the way that it wants to be. So when you hear people saying that, you know, there was a part of me that'd be like, okay, whatever, excuse, generational story, which some of them are. But at the end of the day, though, too, scientifically, physiology is a huge, huge part of this, okay? So your physiology sees things one way, and your psychology sees things another. This is where your thoughts and thinking come in, and I talk to you about this over and over and over again. What is the story that you're constantly telling yourself? You know, so you have these two things that are constantly battling, butting heads all the time. So give yourself some grace sometimes when it comes to, okay, you know, I've tried this and I've tried that, and listen, maybe sometimes you are delusional, and maybe sometimes it is truth, that it is something that you just cannot change, okay? So again, hormones are messengers. So I want you to think of hormones like your body's internal postal service. Okay, so it's kind of like, okay, Harry Potter, remember when Harry Potter gets all those letters like spewing out at him, you know, that kind of thing? I always visualize that. So it's kind of like, you know, let's say the hypothalamus gets a message, and then it tells the hormones, okay, go tell the thyroid to speed up. Go tell the pancreas to release some insulin. Go tell, you know what I'm saying? And then the pancreas will send a letter. You see what I'm saying? So think of hormones like a mail system, okay? I know for some people, visuals are really a good thing to think, right? So in essence, what happens is the hormone docks on the cell, and I could show you this scientific looking picture, but no need. And then the receptor, because the cells have receptors like antennas, tells the cell what to do. Store fat, burn fat, release fat. Okay, make sense? Okay, so sometimes I'll hear people say, oh, my hormones are just so out of whack. Well, how do you know? Do you really know? People are always looking to place the blame. Maybe that's you. I don't know. But here's the thing. Don't always just jump straight to the hormone. We have the ability to control these hormones. You just have to know how to do it, right? But what you can be proactive with is your caloric intake, your carb intake, your stress management, and your lifestyle choices. Oftentimes, when you handle some of these first, the hormones will get under control. But what ends up happening is people, I'm either a shit show or I'm perfect. I'm on the wagon or I'm off, right? And then there's this, wah. Now listen, when it comes to your metabolism, it does like change, okay? And we're gonna get into that in just a minute. I'm gonna go in greater detail. But it doesn't like the whole binging and this and that. That's a lot of this that needs to be fixed, okay? And so this is where people, I think, get like, I'm just so confused, because on one side you're saying that the metabolism likes to have that change. But the problem is that people go crazy. That's the problem. Is then it's like a whole pizza, then it's ice cream, and then it goes on for 2 hours, then it goes on for 2 days, then it goes on for 2 weeks and 2 months, and you know what I'm saying? And so these things have to be kind of planned out and periodized, okay? I'm gonna get on my athlete soapbox. I love my Tom Brady, but let's talk about how fascinating athletes are. I love them. I think they're absolutely fascinating. And you know why they're so good at what they do is because they control their state of mind, and they understand that they have to fuel their body properly. They also understand that they have to do things that other people don't want to do. That's what makes them successful. That's what puts them in the elite. They are doing things that other people don't want to do. They get uncomfortable all the time, okay? So if I were Tom Brady's trainer, we would have his year mapped out. His nutrition would be periodized according to the season. It's the same thing. His metabolism has to be periodized, what's going on, the stressors with the game, the non-stressful time after the season. So you got to think about your metabolism in the same way. There's like preseason, postseason, there's like the in season, you know what I'm saying? So there's like 4 different cycles. He's eating differently post-season than he is pre. He's eating differently in season than he is post. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to kind of think about things on these kind of terms, not just meal to meal or day to day, but also phase to phase. Okay, give me a 1 if that makes sense, a 2 if you're completely confused. Okay, not to get super intense, but I'm really trying to educate you here so that you can understand your body, because that's really what it is. So everybody talks about like their body is working against them, but here's the thing. Our body is just doing what it's designed to do. It's designed to survive and reproduce, period. Your body is always asking itself, us females, could she carry a baby? Does she have enough body fat to carry this baby? Now, this is where that hormone leptin comes in, right? Okay. So survive, cortisol. All right. So this is what the body is designed to do. But we are always thinking it's working against me. But here's the problem. Nobody is educating us on our body and how it works. And it really, really should be a part of education in schools. Especially with the epidemic with kids now, and their weight and all of that, it's just insane to me. Okay, let me tell you, this is the golden nugget of all golden nuggets. This is the hormone hierarchy. Most people, they think, oh, estrogen and progesterone, they're just kicking my ass. No, it's not. Okay, you see there at the bottom, the 2 that matter most are the insulin and the cortisol. Period, end of story. They all matter, but you know what? The 2 at the top, they don't matter as much as you think, okay? The three at the bottom, your insulin, cortisol, and leptin, matter the most. They are the big movers in the metabolism. If you are not managing your insulin and cortisol and also keeping control of the leptin, you're screwed. Okay. So in other words, this is what I help my clients do. Like, it's interesting. I had a conversation with my business coach and she goes, well, what is it that you do exactly? So, well, I help them balance their hormones. Okay. Well, if I peel back the layers, I help them manage insulin and cortisol. If I really peel it back, insulin, cortisol, and leptin. Okay. But the fact of the matter is if I put it out there and said, I'm an insulin coach, you'd be like, what? Okay, whatever. But that really truly is what I do, is I help people to understand how their fucking body operates. And so they can lose the fat finally and feel good for once. Okay. Make sense? Do you guys get this? Actually, give me a comment of if this is a surprise to you. I want to know if this becomes as a surprise, or if you like put surprise, if it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, or put already knew, if you already knew it. Okay. I don't think many people are aware of this. And if you are, you're one of the next level humans. It's the way that I put it. Because, you know, next level human in my mind is somebody that's always seeking information. It's like you guys being here. You know, you're seeking information. You're being your own biggest advocate. Okay. Okay. So now you've seen this before, which is the exercise more, eat less model. This is what everybody's go-to is. Okay. I got to lose weight. I better exercise more and eat less. Okay. You're going to decrease your metabolism. You're going to go into the hunger, energy, and cravings pitfall. This creates metabolic dysfunction. Your cortisol will go up. Your cravings will go up. Your stress goes up because this is stressing the fuck out of your body, and your cravings are going to go up. And you wonder why, when you're trying to lose weight, you're starving, you have no energy, you're bitchy, you just feel horrible. It's all of this shit that comes along with it. You're craving, you want to eat the whole fucking cake, okay? So now we're going to go into estrogen and progesterone really quick. So estrogen and progesterone, let me just tell you, they are like twin sisters. They don't look alike, but yet they like to be around each other. Okay. Now estrogen, she's cool. She's a free bird, fun sister. She's awesome. She's always like, let's just see what happens kind of, or let's just do this kind of thing. The progesterone's the pain in the ass, the cautionary, overprotected, worried, very cautious. I don't know about that. We got to keep things safe. Okay. Progesterone, pain in the ass. Estrogen, fun. Okay. So progesterone, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. So progesterone is basically, let's be careful. We need to save some calories for a potential baby. Like I taught you before, the body is always looking to survive or reproduce. It's always going to put a check on the estrogen. High anxiety is a sure sign of lack of progesterone. When stress, aka cortisol, hits, progesterone is going to drop, meaning it's not going to protect you. And during the second half of your cycle, which I kind of talked about this in a Q&A session in my group, progesterone is dominant. You are going to crave more, and you are more insulin resistant, meaning that you are not going to be able to handle those carbs that you are craving. So stay away from them. Okay. So progesterone, not really our fun hormone. It's interesting because you will find as you start, well, at least me, maybe not you guys, but I do find like I have these hormones that become my favorites, or they become my or, I get more fascinated about them. So now let's talk about estrogen. Estrogen's pretty damn cool. It's like a weak testosterone for women. Okay. Have you ever been on I remember being on a testosterone for a back issue or whatever, or no, it was a steroid. Yeah. So it's kind of a similar feel, right? And so you feel like you can conquer anything. Like you feel strong, you feel yes, So estrogen is like a weak testosterone for women. and it makes you feel good. So that first two, usually between 7, like first day to 10 to 14 before you ovulate, right? That's when you're more estrogen dominant. It will, that's the time when you have your estrogen still going. Okay, this is when you can keep your waistline thin. So those that are hitting the menopause, no, those that are in perimenopause, that's a real shit show, because your estrogen spikes and then it's not there, and then it spikes and it's not there, and you've got hot flashes and all this crap, and it's just like, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like very erratic. And so it's an awful, awful time. I'm not there, but it's an awful time for women, okay? So estrogen is also less reactive to stress. So meaning that it's more like, I can handle you, kind of thing. It opposes the action of testosterone. And what I mean by that is that when women have an abundance of testosterone, they tend to be more rounder in the middle. And I put PCOS here in parentheses because some of you ladies, I know there's a lot of you walking around that have it, don't even know it, but I can spot you. There's a certain look. There's generally facial hair. Doesn't have to be manly looking, but a lot of facial hair. Sometimes you'll get like acne. Okay, sometimes chest hair, rounded out in the middle. And, so testosterone is doing that. So PCOS is basically a testosterone, insulin, and stress issue. And you have to, there's a lot of women walking around with it, and you have to really, really, just like with anything, you got to control your stress. Okay. So the first half of your cycle is when you can handle more carbs because you're more insulin sensitive, meaning that your estrogen is helping you to handle this, the insulin more. So let's say I was working with athletes, but I don't, but let's just say I had, let's say I was niched in athletes. I would create programs around their menstrual cycle. The first half of the cycle, I would feed them more carbohydrates. I would have them doing more heavier weights because I would treat them more like training like a guy in a way, because they can handle it. The second half, which is the progesterone phase, that is when the body wants to be more relaxed. It wants to be just more like, leave me alone, and all of that, your body like, feed me, that kind of mode. It wants to rest and digest during that phase. Okay. And so I hope that this kind of helps, gives you some understanding about these two different hormones. Okay. Not going to get into menopausal stuff because I could do a whole fucking series on that, but this will give you an idea of the two different hormones. Okay. All right. So now neurotransmitters is something that I also work with my clients. It's a very important piece, extremely, because it also helps me to understand where their state of mind is according to what's going on in their physiology, because they are also still learning how to manage their state of mind, and also to they're still learning how to even recognize their current state. And so your state can change all the time, but it just always depends on what you have going around you. Also, your cycle and things like that have a lot to do with this as well. Okay. Actually, before I move on, do you have any questions on the estrogen or progesterone? Give me a 1 if you understand. Give me a 2 if you're confused. And if you are confused, put your question. Okay, so neurotransmitters. So there's something that's called GABA. Think of calming, like GABA. Okay, so GABA is something that these are all produced in the brain. You've probably heard of dopamine and serotonin like constantly, but you don't realize like, hey, these are actual hormones and such, right? And so these are all affected all the time. So GABA is a major neurotransmitter. Now, I do have a whole podcast on the neurotransmitter. So if you haven't listened to this podcast, make sure that you do. But this also is affected by progesterone. Okay. So GABA, you feel calm and balanced when you're not deficient. Okay. Because most people are walking around this world with a major deficiency with the GABA. Then the serotonin is, you know, I'm happy, I'm loving my life. That is more estrogen oriented. Dopamine, I get shit done. Estrogen oriented. Okay. So I want you to understand the importance here of the neurotransmitters, because the neurotransmitters have so much to do with the way that you're operating in your life. And it also will give you clues as to what's going on with you as well. Okay. Here's the thing. And I want you to understand this. People crave certainty. Humans crave certainty. They want, like, I want the answer. Just give me the fucking answer. Well, I can't. And either can a doctor, whether they are an MD or an ND, which is a naturopath. Oh, there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of science. But the fact of the matter is that everybody is so different. And something that maybe Sally does and Lucy does, you're going to get different outcomes. Okay. And so there's no certainty in this game. This is why oftentimes people quit, is because they want fucking certainty. They want answers. I want change right now. But it doesn't work like that. Sustainable, permanent change does not work like that. If you want to understand your body, then it's going to take time. You know, oftentimes I have clients with me 6, 12 months. That, you know, it doesn't always turn out that way, but because they start to recognize, like, okay, I really need, you know, to really have a better understanding, those are the people that stick around for a longer period of time. Some people, they don't, you know, it just depends on where they're at and what they desire, you know, but I have several clients that have continued to grow also as I have continued to grow in my education, you know, because they want to continue to learn and learn and learn. Okay. All right. So I hear this all the time, but I'm doing everything right, but there's nothing happening. I don't know what to do. I mean, what? I eat healthy. Okay. But again, we talked about this the other day. What is healthy to you? You know, you might think something's healthy and it's not responding to you hormonally in a positive way. The problem is this. You could be doing the everything right for way too long. And you could be also focusing on the wrong thing, which I'm pretty sure that you are. So here's the thing. Your metabolism desires change and flexibility. Remember, I just talked about Tom Brady and his training schedule. All of that, everything has to change around all of that. You continue to push on your metabolism, it's going to backfire on you. You keep doing the same fucking thing over and over and over and over and year after year after year, you're going to get the same outcome, which is nothing. You cannot keep stressing out your body and expect change. You can't. It's going to push back on you. Sorry. It's going to be like, sorry, you're not moving. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So the fact of the matter is that we have to throw in some changes. This is why, like with my clients, it's super important that they follow certain protocols. If they're not following certain protocols and they're not getting results, it's because they're not following the protocol. You know what I mean? And so you have to recognize some of the sciencey things here. And if you're continuously doing the same thing over and over again, the body, this is the word that I want you to understand, and maybe you've heard this before, is adaptation. We as humans are designed to adapt. So let's say you are at the gym and a trainer says, give me a bicep curl with 10 pounds. I don't know. Let's say it's like really hard for you. I don't know. Maybe it's 20 pounds. Let's say 20 pounds. And let's say it's like, oh, this is fucking hard. Oh my God. They say, do it again. Do it again. Oh, it wasn't so bad. Do it again. Oh, I got this. Do it again. Oh yeah, I'm getting it. What's happening is your body is adapting. It's already ahead of you. Adaptation. Okay. You need to understand that. It's super, super, super important to be aware of that. Okay. So here's the problem. People are always dieting. They're always exercising more, eating less. It's volatile to the metabolism. This is why people are feeling stuck. Their size and weight never changes. They're always starting over. They get into that all or nothing mindset shit show. and they're not taking hormones, lifestyle habits, or the psychology or physiology for that matter into consideration. The result of that is a wash, rinse, repeat. There's no change, same problem, same reality, different year. Now, if this sounds like you, say me. Okay? Now, moving on. I said this earlier. The goal is to have a flexible metabolism, not a fast metabolism. Flexible. Okay, I'm going to push you. Okay, I'm going to pull back. Okay, metabolism, I'm going to push you. I'm going to pull back. Here's where the problem comes in. People's mind gets in their way. They can't handle it that sometimes when you pull back, you think you're doing something wrong. We label it as like, we're not constantly dieting. We're not constantly restricting ourselves. We're doing something wrong. Okay? You're not doing anything wrong. In fact, you're doing exactly what is right. But the issue is that when we pull back and the body decides to maybe gain a pound, who fucking cares? You start to freak out. Oh, all hell breaks loose. Okay? But it's normal. Sometimes you have to gain weight to lose weight. Sometimes that just is the fact, but people don't want to hear it. Somebody might even leave this conversation because they don't want to hear it. They want to go find somebody that's going to, market the information that says lose 30 pounds in a month. Good luck. Good luck with that. Does that make sense? Give me one if it makes sense. Give me a 2 if you think I'm nuts. All right, moving on. So here's the thing. You need to stop chasing your tail and doing what your body keeps telling you isn't working. That's the problem. We're constantly getting this information. Our body is always telling us this isn't working, but what do? We keep pushing on that metabolism. We keep pushing. You need, it's like visualize a person and you're trying to push them. Push, and it's like, and it's not moving. You gotta back off. Think about it in a human, like you're in front of a human. You want them to move out of your way. If you lunge at them and push them, chances are they're going to resist you. But if you back off, they're going to back off, right? You can't keep pushing, okay? It's not working. So stop doing it. So stop treating your weight loss like a math problem. Stop obsessing over the scale. Stop depriving yourself. Stop treating yourself like when you're doing good, meaning I'm going to treat myself with a cake, or I'm going to treat myself with pizza or whatever. Because what happens is for most people, it triggers them into this all month long, whatever. So in other words, what I'm saying there is don't look at food as a treat. Look at food as fuel and how is it speaking to you hormonally, okay? Stop stressing out about your rule book. I can't have this. Can't do that. I'm on the wagon right now. Okay? Stop comparing yourself to other people and stop sacrificing food, friends, and social situations. So important. You'll be a part of the NFL, which is no friends left. Okay? Okay. Next. So here's the awesome news. You can change where you are by making the choice to change it. You have the power, right? So if you don't change, what's going to happen? You're going to stay the same. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Okay? So which would you rather feel more like? Option 1, which is feeling stuck, confused, frustrated, bloated, uncomfortable, same place year after year after year on that hamster wheel. Want. Or option 2, feeling free of the struggle, in a place of understanding your body, the body's needs, feeling more comfortable overall and moving forward in your life. You're on that success side. Option 1, remember the start over? Phase 1 to phase 3. That's option 1. Option 2 is you're over here on that other side because you walked through that hallway. Okay? Now, so there is a better way. Okay, you guys know I have my program, the Metabolism Reboot Academy. It's the MRA method. Review phase. You get honest with yourself. You begin to understand the facts about your own personal physiology and psychology. You redesign. You're going to learn and implement new things that actually work. Begin to listen to your metabolism and what it's telling you. You're going to then move into the renew phase, which is you're going to embrace the new you and your new lifestyle. All of those changes, and they can happen quickly, trust me. Okay? You need to work with your metabolism, not against it. Remember, stop pushing. So the 3-step MRA method is not a fluffy theory. This is something that is tested and proven to work by me and dozens of my students, okay? So like Lauren, for example, she took the MRA, it changed everything. Her energy, relationships, everything changed. Julie was a starchitarian. I call vegetarians starchitarians a lot of times because all they do is eat bread and cheese or beans or whatever. And she just felt awful all the time. And we were able to manipulate her diet so that it felt good to her, and it also changed everything. So then she was able to fit into the wedding dress that she had ordered 2 sizes small, okay? Kim, she's still with me, actually. This is part of her transformation. So far, she could be further along now, but she has lost 55 pounds in 8 sizes. Look at that transformation there. It's crazy, isn't it? She just feels so much better. She's like a whole new human. As Lee conceived, she had PCOS. So anybody that has PCOS, maybe you watched my live with her before that I brought her on, and she's got this special little gift now. She was not able to conceive. Ida, she was she was feeling stuck after keto. And then we were able to adjust what she was doing. We were able to find her carbohydrate and protein tipping points. So then she was able to move forward, get unstuck, and work with her metabolism. Okay. Then Kimberly. Okay. That was just the beginning there. Since then, she has become more empowered. She has opened her own skincare business, which is something she will even talk about and tell you that, you know, when she was in that, before starting the program, she was in a mode of powerlessness, and never, ever did she ever think that she would be in a position of owning her own business. Rachel, she's lost 34 pounds, 24 inches, and she's still going, 25 inches, okay? So when you're given a method that comes with phases, it's easier to achieve because you're given this stuff in layers. I don't just throw everything on you, okay? So based on the systems and strategies that you currently have in place, will you be able to achieve your desired goals? I want you to ask yourself that question. Do you have the system and strategy to get you where you need to be? Most of us don't. And then we go back to the what? The exercise more, eat less. We get that quick dopamine hit. Yeah, we lost a couple pounds, now I'm stuck. Yeah, because your body's like, screw you. You're stressing me out, right? Okay. So with a step-by-step strategy and guidance and accountability, how much faster do you think you're going to get to your goal? Much, much faster. Okay. And again, it's not an overnight thing. This is something that is a process that I am helping to lead you through. So my program is now open for enrollment. Our next start date is September the 3rd. Okay. So this is for you if you are ready to balance your hormones, have more energy, and finally lose a stubborn fat. This is a 5-week virtual program, and I walk with you every step of the way. So that said, let me give you a quick sneak peek of what you will learn in the program. So phase 1 is where you start to become the non-dieter. You start to recognize your metabolic blueprint and the science, which you've already learned quite a bit this week. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take some of these and put them in my member portal because I think that we really dove into a lot this week. Your hormones, understanding them, and the fat storing part, your beliefs and your behaviors, we go heavily into this because if we do not, nothing is going to remain changed. It's the continuous higher level learning. It's becoming the higher version of you, the version of you that you desire. The version of you that you so often tell yourself that you cannot become, but I'm here to tell you that you can, and you are worth it. Phase 2, we redesign. This is when we get into the nutrition piece. This is when we really start to recognize those habits, those behaviors. We help you to get off of that whole, I gotta be perfect and the starting over shit. We keep you motivated. That's the thing. Most people are like, I just can't be consistent and I'm motivated. Part of it is because of the neurotransmitters I just talked about, which we dive into, and I help you with balancing those so you can remain motivated and consistent. Okay. Next, third, your phase 3, which is becoming that version of you, being the part. You're getting over on that success side now. You're able to set boundaries. You're able to make yourself a priority. You recognize how you haven't been making yourself a priority, how maybe you've been cutting corners. You were maybe acting like Kelly in 2016. You know, you're realizing all of these self-defeating things, habits, behaviors, all these loops that you were stuck in. Okay. Now, here we go. So I'm just going to tell you what's going on with this and what you can get. So you get all of the member portal, which includes let me go back here one slide, includes easy to follow video lessons, fillable worksheets, and more. Okay. So with this you also get these bonuses. So at the end, I'm going to set a little timer. And if you enroll within that first 10 minutes, you're going to get all these extra bonuses. And one of the main bonuses that I'm adding this time around is that, and my little peanut is awake, is you will get an MRA mug as well as one 30-minute session with me, one-on-one. And you could use it at any time, really. So it also includes guest experts. I have my dear friend, Sandra. Yeah, you could. Well, I'm using this right now. And she is awesome with feng shui and helping to declutter because it has a lot to do with your surroundings, exercise and stress hormone expert, as well as a journaling expert. You might think, what do I need a journaling expert for? Well, she's going to teach you exactly how to journal properly as well. Now, let me back up. I want to talk about tapping. Some people might not understand what tapping is. Tapping has to do with if you're in a situation of anxiety or if you're in a place of like, I'm feeling stuck and something's really bothering me, I teach you how to tap through that. EFT tapping, it's emotional freedom technique. Maybe you've heard of it. I also give you closed eye process audio series. It's basically me giving you some hypnosis tracks, which helps you. Some people get freaked out about the word hypnosis, but it's really us pulling in that subconscious mind. I'm going to have to give her my phone, so I won't be able to see any questions or comments. So I will check back, but I'm trying to avoid a fit here. All right, so you get the recipe book, the Tapping into Weight Loss mini series, a 30-minute session, as well as the closed eye process, the guest experts, and then here is where you'll see all of this stuff that we do, which is obviously going to help you balance your hormones, nutrition that encourages fat loss. I'm going to help you with that. Finally, give you the information that's going to help you get the fat off that works with your particular blueprint and metabolism. Become the non-dieter. We have live coaching calls that are basically held just like this virtually. You do not have to leave the comforts of your home. And then there's also a Facebook community that you are a part of. Now, to participate in the program, again, it's a 5-week program. You have 3 options. You can do a paid in full, you can do 2 payments, or you can do 3 payments, and you choose whatever is in your comfort level. Now, if you're like thinking to yourself, gosh, I just don't know if I can make this investment. You know, I don't know. I want you to think about all of the time that you will save. I want you to think about all of the supplements that you never hesitated to purchase because somebody told you were going to lose so much weight in such a short amount of time and it never worked. And then those supplements just ended up sitting in the drawer. I've done it many times, trust me. You know, this is actually quite a small investment for a long-term payoff. This program, I promise you, will change your life if you do it properly, okay? It will change your life. So like Marianne says here, taking this program helped her discover some of her staple foods that she thought was healthy was actually undermining her success. Adrienne went from a size 14 to a 10 in 3 months. This is Lauren's picture after 5 weeks. You can see a significant difference in her belly. I need to update some of these pictures too. This is Michelle. And you can see the difference here. She's in her 50s. She's somebody that was already eating very clean, already an avid exerciser, and we just tweaked some things. And a lot of it had to do with her stress. And you see that difference in her belly. The bloating is down. She's much leaner, you know, so it's quite interesting how when you think you're doing all of the right things, but you're stuck and you just can't maybe lose that last 5 pounds or whatever it is, there's these little tweaks. I've got some of the magic. So if you do the work, you will get the results. So how it works is if you go to kellydunlap.com/MRA, you're going to see some information about the program. And then you'll see these options here. And you have the choice to pick one of the 3. And once you do that, then you will be taken to my member portal. You will enter your name and information. And there you go. Okay. And again, like I said, we start on the 3rd of September. And so you have some time, as far as budgeting and, all of that stuff. Now, I'm going to start my little timer here and just kind of keep an eye out for, I didn't mean to do that, for the enrollments. And then you will get those bonuses. And like I said, one of the biggest ones in there is that 30-minute one-on-one session. Okay. Now, if you have questions, please put them in the comments. And I will, be absolutely checking the comments. I wish I had another phone here, but like I said, we almost made it through the whole presentation, almost, but she woke up. So you get easy to follow video lessons, fillable worksheets, and more. The portal is really cool. It's easy to access. 24 access to the training content and to the Facebook group, which gives you that community. Access to 5 live weekly coaching calls. Okay, so I lead the calls, and then I also have the guest experts in on some of those calls as well. And then you will be able to watch the replays as well if you are not able to tune in on the calls. So you you will be a much different person. It's really interesting to me how people change in such a short amount of time. And they're pretty fascinated as well. They're like, I didn't even think that I would feel different in this shorter time, or that, I wrote this in the very beginning when I started, and now I look at it, I don't even recognize who that person is, So let me do this. I'm going to, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I stopped my timer, but that's okay. So it's 9:26. I'm going to go into the Facebook, see if you guys have any questions. Because there we go. Here we go. Okay. And I'm not sure if this is a good idea or a bad idea. I don't know if it's going to like act weird or anything. But let me see. Okay. And like I said, again, I'm on a delay as well. So I don't know if I open this up, if it's going to act strange. So hang on one second, or even if it will. Okay. It's kind of funny seeing me over here and then seeing me on this delay. No, you know what? It's not letting me do that. It's going like right back to the beginning. So, oh wait, hang on. Yeah, there it is. It's totally letting me do that. Awesome. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. But now listen too, the other thing is that if you feel like, okay, I have some questions, but I don't really feel like, I don't really feel comfortable putting them in to the comments of the live, just private message me and we can set up a call and chat, or we can just chat, through the messenger as well. And, like I said, the next round starts on the 3rd. So we have some time here. We've got, it's right after the kids go back to school if you're concerned about that, and, all that stuff. So let me know what questions you might have, and then I'm more than happy to answer. So what I'll do is I'll just keep an eye. I'm going to end the live so you guys aren't like hanging around. So I'll just keep an eye on any questions, and also my on the comments, and then anything in my messenger box. And then I'll get back to you on all of that. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful and informative. And please let me know if you have any questions, okay? And we will talk to you guys soon. Bye.